You are listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network.
I always like a little Darth Vader right before we start. That's perfect.
Says the respiratory therapist.
I know. Well done. All right, here we go. Welcome to the Empire. It's the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
Riley's in the shotgun, looking downfield, and then throws. It is up in the air to the goal line. Bounces. What a catch! What a catch by Duke Williams! Touchdown, Eskimos! Bryant Mitchell. It's going to be intercepted. Arjun Colhoun. 108 yards to the end zone. Vidal Hazelton.
Welcome back to the Turf District for episode 122 of the Eskimo Empire Podcast, brought to you by United Construction Company. You can find all the good work they do at unitedconstruction.ca, and of course we are a part of the Canadian Football Podcast Network. You can also find us online at eskempire.ca for all of our social media channels and show links, of course. I'm your host Andrew, and I'm joined as always by the one and only superfan Mike.
How is it going, sir?
It is going wonderful. And how are you recovering from Fan Day yesterday?
Oh, just still glowing.
Lovely.
It was a wonderful time.
Still glowing. Speaking of still glowing, Web Mistress Kayla is here as well.
Hello.
There we go. Yes, I bet you're still glowing after Fan Day. Yeah, exactly.
And not from a burn. So that's
we like to make improvements. Yes.
My scabs are getting better.
Okay.
Oh, don't put that in.
Too late.
We're leading with that.
No, I was more thinking that you have this glow because you're staring at the computer screen because you're so excited.
Yeah, that too. And I actually got like screen tan.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Can you tell? It's like a bit blue in my face.
Lovely. All right. So we talked a bit about it on the Periscope. You got some really good pictures yesterday. Mm-hmm. Tell us about some of your favorites and kind of what you found, and of course,
favorites.
kind of preview what's going to be coming out on our Instagram and website, all that type of stuff.
So I got a few for the scrimmage, but every time I got a great shot, someone was standing or would just walk right in front. I'm like, I'm taking photos here. Like, I wanted to pull like a New Yorker and just like slap, even though that's their job too. But it was a water guy. Like, can't you just move aside?
Midnight Cowboy.
Jeepers.
But anyway, so it was great.
It was great, yeah. Did you get a picture of Nate Bahar dancing?
I did. I
Okay.
got a few, so I kind of want to put them in synchronization, so it actually looks like he's moving. I'll see how that goes. But
That is awesome.
yes, so I got a few of those. Yeah, just a few of some of the guys were just actually almost thrilled to be in a photo.
Yes.
They like doing poses and like genuine huge smiles. Like, woo! Some of those boys, they got some decent teeth on them.
Any favorite smiles?
Yes.
Oh yes, of course.
Such as?
Well, there are a few. But there was one in particular whom just grabbed my attention.
Andrew.
And
Of course.
why did you spoil it?
I know.
But other than that, yes, actually. Brock was the... No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, actually. He does have... Yeah, it's a good smile.
Yeah. Mike Moore. Absolutely.
Moore.
Yes, him and Kobina, they were kind of...
light up.
They were lit. Yeah. They
They were lit.
They were?
lit.
No. I hope not. Not on the field. Yeah.
No, in the good way.
Yes.
Not
I love your sound effects. I say it every week. I love the
We're just going to start inserting those.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
But yeah, actually, Mike was running back, and I just had to get another photo because I didn't get one of like just him, and I waved him over, and he's like, yeah, like all cool about it, and then he's like, what, you just want a photo? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I offended him. Like, I don't want your signature, I want your face.
What?
I didn't say that.
That could sound creepy.
Not good, but it was pretty funny. That's good. Nice.
With fava beans and a nice Chianti.
It's the things that we talk about on this show. That's pretty funny.
Glad you're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess
Very
not.
enlightening.
All right, well let's get to our guest, and when we can all talk about it. You may know him, probably more likely know him on Twitter as Patrick B. Penguin, but we're finally got him down to the Turf District. It is Ed. How you doing, man?
I'm very good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm glad you're here. We've had some great interactions on Twitter, and I know you're a big fan, so it's nice to always have good fans here. I'm going to start with the question that we usually ask featured fans, and that's kind of who introduced you to football, and when did you kind of fall in love with the Esks?
Oh, gosh. Well, I've been watching football since I was a little kid.
Okay.
I don't know if I should reveal this or not, but I did grow up in Calgary.
Oh,
And so
wow.
my first team was
You got better.
that team.
See,
That team.
you've come to the right side now, so it's okay.
I did.
It's okay. Yeah,
But that was a
everyone's
long
allowed.
time. That was a long time ago. I was young. I was foolish.
move past.
I really did like Danny Barrett though. So
Okay,
Oh, that's
okay.
fair.
Well, that's fair. He's a good guy.
then moved to Edmonton to come to school and been here ever since. And then
Nice.
I think I really became a fan of the Eskimos kind of late 1900s, early 2000s.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
yeah. So,
Yeah, that's. I mean, you're getting in a time where you probably still got Gizmo around.
Yep.
You're
Yep.
still you're getting into Willie Pless, all
Jason
those types
Moss
of
Yep,
things.
just
and
starting
Jason
out.
Moss just started, and
Yeah.
Ricky
Ed
Ray was just a
Hervey.
few
Yeah.
afterwards. Hervey. Yep.
Kind of hard not to fall in love with the team at that point.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
I totally get it. Absolutely.
Obviously, I always get this question because somehow it relates to me. But do you have any particular memorabilia or item connected to the Eskimos that you treasure more than others in your collection?
I have my autographed game ball football that I had
Nice.
the 2015 team all signed
That
in
is
that
awesome.
fan day,
Nice.
and of course that's here they went all the way.
Absolutely, in Spruce Grove.
So, yeah.
That is awesome. That is a good one to
And
have.
so I'm quite fond of that.
I don't.
I do
blame
not
you.
blame you at
no,
all.
not
Yeah.
at all. That is fantastic.
Ooh,
Awesome.
man, can I get on?
Yes,
some of that?
absolutely, you
Take
can.
a photo of that, share it around. Man, alive, that's a good one.
It's nice. It's
Dang.
right on top of the mantle.
I bet.
So, who's your favorite Esk of all time, and your favorite current Eskimo?
Oh man,
That's a tough question.
That is tough.
The-
you should
Question.
give me
Take
some
it on with you
advance
this evening.
notice on this.
Yeah. No
You got
pressure.
all
10 seconds. There you go.
All 10 seconds. Okay, all time. Well, Gizmo's up there.
Okay.
It's
And I
just
kind of figured that
because-
was going to happen with what you just said. Yeah.
Just because he's Gizmo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know we put him in a game right now. He'd probably get 30 yards.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. He'd still be faster than
He'd
most
still
of
be-
them out there. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And also Fred Stamps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Well
because
done, Ed.
making friends left and right.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know what more you want in a team player. I mean, his skill set was fabulous, but such a team player would do anything it took to win a game.
He gave more than most.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally gave.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot more. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Poor Fred.
Did you guys arrange this?
No.
No,
Last week was Bryant. This week is Fred. Y'all.
Nice. We like to be on top of these things.
no, and
Joke.
whatever role he was asked to play, even towards the end of his career,
Mm-hmm.
when his minute playing time was greatly reduced, never complained. Just tell me what you need, coach. I'm there.
Awesome.
And that's how can you not respect that?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And conveniently, the same number. So it makes
Yeah.
it really,
Exactly.
really-
I just love the number 2.
That's right.
And how about current player then?
Current player, jersey I'm wearing, Calvin McCarty.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
I was waiting
a
for
lot-
CJ Gable. That's what I'm two theme.
James Franklin.
James
Wait.
Franklin, yeah.
Aw.
And McCarty, same
Oh.
reasons as Fred Stamps.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
been. I mean, he bleeds green and gold.
Absolutely.
Never complained.
Yeah.
Suffered through the lean years. Never complained.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was so happy for him when he finally got his ring.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for
Mr.
sure.
Reliable.
For sure. And he's, and it also helps that he sounds like Tone Loc.
Let's do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
that just makes it so much.
I mean, one of my favorite memories of him is at the 2015 Grey Cup in Winnipeg. We were lucky enough to go to the walkthrough the day before with a small group of fans because we joined the Grey Cup club. And somebody there McCarty came over and started talking to us on the field. and someone said, this is great. It's my first time going to the Grey Cup. He goes, yeah, me too. And it's just like, how do you not love a guy like that?
Yeah.
So
Calvin too. I mean, even as an example, yesterday Fan Day, he was near the end of the guys coming over to where we were, and but the first thing he did is he stops, gives me a hug, says, "How are you doing? How's the back? How's everything? How's the progress?" And for a guy that, I mean, I know I see him a little more regularly in and around town and that type of thing, but for a guy who's in the middle of Fan Day and all these people who want, he takes that time to, go reach out to that fan and say, hey, how are you? Like he always impresses me with taking that extra time.
And he is so embedded in the community. I mean, I see his wife as well and daughter at so many Eskimo related things that you don't have to do, but they just really want to. And I mean, that's a great choice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
And wearing this jersey too, it makes you want to do everything just one-handed.
Sure. And don't drop it.
That's right. You don't drop it.
That's right.
Calvin's watching.
Yeah, I love it. All right, let's get to our Esks news. We had some news right from today, actually, as the Eskimos did release quarterback Eli Jenkins. I don't think this came as a huge shock to anybody at this table, but I was a little surprised it was this early. I thought they might keep him around as having the extra arm through the rest of camp. But he really wasn't getting the time either in games. So
right, not a big surprise seeing him cut. I know there was a lot of anticipation about what he could bring when we signed him in December,
absolutely,
of 2017. But it just didn't seem to translate as well on the field. He's definitely an athletic beast.
Yes,
he's got a lot of skills, both throwing and running. But he had a strong arm.
Yes,
but maybe it just took him a little longer to learn the playbook, and they didn't want to develop, spend that time on him. But for whatever reason, we wish him well. But
yeah. Absolutely.
So I think we've at least narrowed it down to the 4 quarterbacks, 3 of whom are going to make the roster.
All right. And we will talk more about quarterbacks in just a minute when we talk about that game. I guess the other big piece of news that we haven't touched on yet, of course, is that Grey Cup tickets are now on sale to the public.
They are.
And those went on last Friday. And I loved hearing that they were well over, like they only had less than 10,000 seats left by the end of Friday. Like that was amazing. They're really, really trying to push getting that sellout, and it's priced right to do it.
Absolutely.
And I think I think we're now reaching here the end of day 3. They were hoping to have it sold out by day 5, and they're within range of doing it.
Yeah,
so,
I think there were 50,000 at this point sold, and it only seats 55 and change. So
yeah, so it's very, very close.
If you want your tickets and you don't buy them in the next day or two, you better find someone that's scalping them outside the stadium.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think congratulations to the Grey Cup committee for getting that, getting that all organized, and of course the great response. So I'm really excited about it. And as you said, Mike, if you don't have them already, make sure you get your Grey Cup tickets. So now let's talk about our quote unquote game from last Friday.
Last week.
And you know what? Actually,
talk about the first 2 minutes.
Yes. Yeah, there is some good to talk about in this game. I think there was a lot of learning to come from this game, and of course, lots that they can go over for film. Because they now have a full week before cutdown day,
right?
So there's a lot of time to break down and see these guys again in practice and look over that film. So that's the benefit of having the 2 games early. The downside to it is it was very obvious that this was a short week and a lot of number 2s and 3s playing this game as we lose to the Bombers 33-13.
Yeah, for sure. It's this wasn't about getting the win because the wins don't really count. It was just about.
So it wasn't for the W?
It was not for the
okay.
W.
I was just checking. Okay.
It was just a chance for us to really evaluate people. Less about can they beat this man, more can they learn the playbook, can they run the plays as they're supposed to be, and get as good as that as they can. If you're a route runner, make sure you're running that route really well. If you're a DB, make sure you're in the right space to try and break things up, etc. So we saw some, or at least we heard, some good players there. I'm sure we're going to talk about it as some of them, but yeah, there were some good things to come out of the game.
Well, I
for
know
sure.
Ed's just biting at the bullet to talk about the big play, the biggest play of the game as far as we are
Was
concerned.
Nanook there?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, Ed, just what obviously I know probably what stood out for you, but tell us what you thought about the general impression of the game.
Like I said, great return.
Yes.
And like I said, there's so
98
98 98 yards.
for Robinson.
Yeah.
And untouched
Yeah.
from what it sounds like. He just burst through everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got good speed, and who knows? I mean, we've seen glimpses of brilliance from others before, so I'm kind of bite my tongue on this one. But hey, each training camp there's fresh hope. So,
Yes.
Yes.
That's very true. Very true.
We're tied for the lead.
yeah,
Look, we're all at 0.
Right.
Right.
Tied for the lead.
I got it. Okay.
but
perfect.
it's really unfortunate that the game wasn't. That we couldn't see any video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's only so much you can get from listening to it.
Yeah, we love David Morley.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of information, but it's kind of different when you can watch different spots, right?
Yeah, because like, was it just were they just manhandled because it was just second, third stringers against
First and second.
first and second, or is it just learning curve? It's hard to tell from just listening.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. But I'm going to go back just to Robinson for a second. So overall, he had 205 return yards.
Yeah,
Which is fantastic.
Yes, 98 in one run.
yeah.
But he averaged over 25 yards every return.
That's
And that's
impressive.
kickoffs and
Yes.
and punts.
Yeah.
So I was pretty impressed with that. That's more than what we usually get.
For sure. I mean, as Ed said, it's been a long time. We've had a lot of dry spells, and we see glimpses, whether it was Kendall Lawrence, whether it was Joe Burnett, whether it was Tristan Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
You see these little bursts, and it gives everyone hope, but this kid definitely has got a little something extra in there.
Yeah,
Even
I
in
agree.
his attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you talked to him a bit yesterday at Fan Day. I know I talked to him for a second there, and he just seems very vibrant but relaxed.
Yeah.
Like, he
Humble.
just
Exactly.
seems like, is that the best way to
Yes,
kind of put it?
absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
I found that he was excited, but he had this calmness about him, and you just finished watching him like peel off another huge run. Like
Yep.
he's got speed to give. So
And that's
it
what
was
you need
nice.
in a returner. You need that enthusiasm, but you also need him to keep calm.
Yeah.
Clear
Because-
head. Yeah.
Clear head, because you can see exactly when frustration and stress and
No
like
panic, yeah.
yeah, panic sets in on a returner. You can actually see that happening when they start to like
And then run 20 yards backwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
And get clobbered.
lateral, backwards.
Yeah.
No, just go. So
Totally.
focus.
I think as well. I mean, I was standing with Kayla at Fan Day and watching him run, and one of the things she said is he's not just fast, he's quick.
Yes.
And it's just one of those words where it's like, it's not just his 40 speed. He's got great football speed. And I think that's something that we can use, especially on special
Yeah.
teams.
Absolutely.
In space, he's amazing.
With agility,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That-
absolutely.
That is awesome. Okay, Kayla, did you get to listen to a lot of the game or?
Truth be told, I didn't mean to, but I fell asleep.
Okay, that's fine.
I think in the fourth, I actually don't remember. I was just like, we're losing.
that's fine.
But one thing I think, like, I personally, I didn't mind losing because we all predicted it for one thing.
Yes,
Which
yes.
made me a 3-3.
Oh, very
last
good.
Friday. So
That's
that's
good.
the
That's
only
good.
time that's ever going to happen. But what I really actually took out of a positive was, okay, Zach Klein did pretty terrible. Pretty terrible in the second
he had
quarter.
a rough game. Yes.
It was a very rough game for him. But after the half, he came back and he was way more relaxed and he improved. He wasn't great,
Yeah.
but he actually improved.
Yep.
And that is huge when you're looking at a rookie who hasn't started a game or hasn't played like in an actual
Yeah, not even in college for
exactly.
years.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
So to have that, and we don't know what was said in the locker room, but obviously it was beneficial to his game, which is beneficial to the Eskimos. So out of that, I see these rookies as outstanding. They're actually learning. They're taking a look at their mistakes and they're fixing them. Mind you, it's only been 2 preseason games, but like I said, guys, I'm really confident this year.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think I would agree with you that when he came back out, he definitely seemed more relaxed. I think the offense in general they just had a bad day.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I don't think there was a lot of protection on up front, and so you weren't able to see a lot of running back plays. You weren't able to see the quarterback was saying hut and running for his life.
Yeah.
And so that's going to throw a guy off, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
going to change how you actually do it. They only had 9 first downs in the entire game.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I think we had that in the first 2 series the week before. So I think that definitely sets something up there, right?
But I'd rather them suck now,
yeah.
get the jitters out, find your mistakes, and actually give the guys some CFL playing time, because it is a different game.
Yes.
And if you don't have protection on your quarterback, you have an extra DB, right? Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
Just making
Very
sure,
good.
right?
Yeah, good call.
So you have an extra attacker coming at that quarterback, and if you don't have a solid O-line, you're going to be in trouble. And nobody is like Mike Riley and his Warrior can take those hits, but Zach Klein actually held up himself. So,
Yeah, he did all right. I think, I don't know, I guess the next question is at this moment, especially with Eli Jenkins being cut today, obviously Mike's number 1. Obviously Glenn is number 2.
Yeah.
Where do you put O'Brien and Klein?
No question.
I know, but I'm asking you.
But there's a question.
There's a question. Who do you put where?
I mean, O'Brien, I think, really silenced a lot of critics.
Absolutely.
People that have been calling for, we got to get Zach Klein because his enthusiasm is contagious. I mean, we all love him. He's got a young, all-American boy kind of face.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he was, 3 of 10, whereas O'Brien, who had probably a more complex package that he went in with, because he's been around Moss's system for 4 years now.
Yes.
I mean, he went 9 of 14.
Yes.
A much better quarterback rating. He seemed a lot calmer out there.
I agree.
I think at this point, it's no question O'Brien is in that third slot. Jenkins, I think Klein will probably be on the practice roster for another year, and I think that's good for him.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're going to be in the practice roster where you can go into a room with a young guy like O'Brien who can sort of show you where he's been for the last couple of years, and then you've got Glenn and Riley.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a situation for a young quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree. Plus, extra props to O'Brien because of Fan Day yesterday when he realized the golf shirt that we were wearing and said, I love what you guys are doing with the podcast. It's just been great. I'm like,
Actually?
extra points for you.
New
Danny.
favorite.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Definitely the third.
Oh, yeah.
He's in. But he did show it as well. I totally agree with
exactly.
you. The poise was there, and
it's good for him too, because I mean, on social media, he's taken a bit of a beating with a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Again,
Sure.
you know what it's like. Everyone loves the third string quarterback or the backup and that sort of thing. And O'Brien is just quietly going about doing his job, and he isn't necessarily as flashy.
Right.
So he's not getting as much attention as, say, a Klein was.
Right.
Which
I
is
would agree.
really
But we love them both.
Which is really sad because he plays an important role. He's an excellent holder.
Yes.
Mind you. So
Yep. Very important. Absolutely.
And can he dance
Oh, I tell you.
on the sidelines?
Solid green and gold dancer.
Oh yeah, he needs a partner. Like we were saying, come on, it's not the same.
It is not.
No.
No.
Well, we're going to have to see how that goes.
We'll see how Kevin does.
Exactly. All right. 2 other good things that I'll just point out and we can chat about. Nick Taylor, I thought, had a great game. Sack and an interception.
And I was a great member of Duran Duran.
Absolutely. Yes, it's very important. But I do think that I thought that he played a very good game. And again, I can't say this enough, Hugh O'Neill and the punts.
Yeah.
Like 45-yard average with a long of 60.
Yeah.
Long of 60. Hello.
Yeah, and when we were talking about that at Fan Day again, it's like when we were talking about one of the newest Eskimos in the Hall of Fame, where you've got Hank Alisic.
Yes.
Someone that can change the game and just say, okay, well, you're going to punt it. I'm going to give us an extra 5 yards of field position every time we have that punt exchange.
Absolutely.
Because against Saskatchewan, what was his average? Like 55, 56?
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah, it was way up there. Yeah, so it's just he's
back to back.
He's killing it. Yeah. I got to give him lots of credit. So I do want to give some credit to the Bombers though too. Their backup there, Strevler, 10 for 10.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Way to go, D. That was a little rough. And Johnny Augustine looked really good. Of course, he was here last year, and he looked quite good. And of course, got to give props to AD getting his TD out of the way against his old team. It's the last one you get, AD.
Yeah.
But it's good that he got one. All right, before we go to break, let's just talk a little bit. I want to talk about Fan Day. We're actually going to put that right after. But before we get those details, we were actually able to catch up to Brock Sunderland. So let's play that for you right now.
We are here with the GM of the Edmonton Eskimos, Mr. Brock Sunderland, once again at Fan Day. How are you today?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you for coming over to chat with us. So it's been a whole year now that you've been in the position. Feel any more comfortable now than it did a year ago?
A lot more comfortable. The biggest thing is when I got hired a year ago, I got to Edmonton, we went to minicamp, we had the draft, we rolled right into training camp. So not only do I know the team better, I know all of the entire staff and the organization better. Last year this time, it was seeing people recognize them but not knowing their names. So just comfort with the staff, knowing how they work and how we interact, all those things.
That's fantastic. So now you've gone through obviously a bit of camp here. When you guys have to start looking at cuts. It looks like there's going to be some tough decisions to be made this year with some of the guys out there.
There's going to be a lot of very tough decisions, which is ideal. You want to go to a camp and on cut down day have long discussions where you can argue to keep a guy on several levels and make that tough decision. We think we're going to probably move on for some people that we have no doubt can play in this league, and that just means that we have some guys that we can play at a real high level at this league. So we would take that over the alternative where we're looking forward to other people making cuts to snag their players.
Absolutely.
So at this time of year, do you actually ever get to turn off at all, or is it you're basically focused on this 24/7?
Not much downtime right now, which is okay. I'm kind of a football junkie anyway, so even if I wasn't doing this for a living, I'd be pretty dialed in and watching the NFL Network around the clock and all those things. But yeah, right now with depending on what the injuries are, talking to the trainers, to evaluating other preseason games, so evaluating our own roster, looking at guys that are coming up through NCAA, CIS, all the above. You're constantly doing everything.
And what was it like with the going to the combine this year? Obviously, now you're going in because last year you were there as part of the Red Blacks. This year, now you're there as part of the Eskimos. What was that in a different role for you?
It really didn't change a whole lot of things. I mean, my role in Ottawa, I did the same things that I do more or less in this role. But as far as the interviews, I'd conduct a lot of the interviews in Ottawa, and the evaluation process is the same. So, really the only change was the colors and the title.
That's all right. We like the colors better. Okay, perfect. A good answer. So now, one question I wanted to ask you was: there's a couple of guys that really stood out for us. Money Hunter, Shaq Cooper. Where do you find these guys? What's the process of trying to find these kind of gems that are coming through?
Well, like I said, you scour all of the levels. You look at every division. Shaq Cooper, funny enough, his agent and I are really good friends. So I was at the NFLPA game in January, and he walked up to me and he said, "Do you need a good running back?" And I said, "Well, we're all just looking for good players, but we feel pretty confident who we have in CJ Gable." And he pulled up some film on his phone. He goes, "Watch this guy for about 20 minutes." And I did. And I said, "Yeah, get him on the phone." We chatted, and I said, "Here's a contract offer." So it can be as easy as that. Money Cooper's a guy that Paul Jones did Money Hunter is a guy that Paul Jones did a really good job on. He saw him at Arkansas State, followed him through the years, kept in touch. We went to a couple tryout camps. There was about 3 or 4 months of just conversations with his agent, with the player. So it can be something where it's as long as that, where you've got them earmarked for up to a year to 3 to 4 months, or it can be a 20-minute conversation where you look at a guy and sometimes it's the old school, the scouts would say they call them 10-footers. You watch 10 foot of film and you know what he is, and that's what Shaq Cooper was.
Yeah. Oh man, that's fantastic. Do you know that?
Yeah. A couple of things. I know that we've had the draft a little while ago, but your first draft, it was kind of just coming in, went with a lot with Rob Ralph and everything else. How did it change this time around?
Well, again, it was very similar. I mean, I had seen all those players before, so how we ran the draft here the first time was how we ran it this time. It was the structure that I brought from Ottawa. Rob does a great job. He knows all the background and all the above, but the players that we saw last year, I'd seen as well, so it wasn't like I hadn't had eyes on them and just kind of said, hey, who do you want to take? But it's a collaborative effort. Jason, Rob, and I all sit in there. I think we're very thorough. So again, kind of a boring answer for you guys, but the truth is the process didn't change a whole lot because I'd seen all the guys a year, and the way we ran the draft this year is identical to how we ran it last year.
Well, I don't know if it's boring or not. We've signed basically everyone but Judson Sr. the last 2 years, so that's got to say a lot of good things for the draft players.
Yeah, well, last year at this time we had the number one guy was holding out, so I'll take the non-drama approach every time. But yeah, I think it speaks to what we do here as an organization. I know a lot of people who are coming here for the first time via free agency or just guys who are on the street speak to that, and they say, hey, talking with the guys around the team, love how the organization treats the players. The city loves the team. The fans are great. So I think the overall Edmonton Eskimos, whether it's the city, the fans, our organization, helps us in a lot of ways.
Awesome. Okay, last one for you because I think it's perfect timing after what you just said. We couldn't ask you this last year, but now we can. What does the Eskimo way mean to you?
It means you try to dominate on the field and you're the classiest team off the field.
Wow. Excellent. Thank you so much, Brock. We really appreciate it. Good luck this year, and hopefully we'll talk to you more.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys. Good seeing you again.
It's always cool when Brock comes and chats with us. I do thank him for doing that for sure. So let's just take a really quick break, and then we will come back with our Asks History moment, more on Fan Day, a little bit of CFL chat, and of course some preseason pick'em.
Hi, this is Tom Richards, and you're listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
The Eskimo Empire Podcast is brought to you by United Construction Company. As a full-service commercial general contractor, United Construction Company serves large and small-scale commercial, light industrial, and multifamily residential construction projects across Western Canada. UCC is a relationship-focused builder, forming a trust and respect that is at the forefront of their commitment to quality, value, and integrity. Visit their website at unitedconstruction.ca to find out more and support them as they support the Empire. You can join the Empire online. Find us at eskempire.ca. All of our social channels are there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, plus our blogs, extra pics, and the link to our Patreon page. You can also get more history at Esks History on Twitter and This Day in Esks History on Facebook. From the Empire team, thanks again for listening. Let's get back to the show. Welcome back. It is time once again for the Esks History moment.
Let's hear you cheer and holler for a mighty famous team. Let's hear you roar, you know what, for a team that's on repeat. Our voices rise up to the skies, the fans are glad to scream. We love those Eskimos.
Welcome to another Esks History moment. During the past few years, we've talked a lot about trades that have involved the Eskimos. Some that we have done well on both sides. The Poplawski-Tommy Scott trade, where both teams sort of benefited.
Yeah.
We've talked a bit about trades that maybe didn't quite go in our favor. A lot of people talk about, when Tommy Joe Coffey was traded for a bag of Magic footballs.
That's the one I was thinking.
That didn't work out so well. And we've talked a lot about trades that really did work in our favor. Speaking of Tommy Scott, the last year of him going to Calgary for Danny Bass.
That one was all right.
Or Reg Clarkson going to Calgary for some guy named Normie Kwong. I think we won that one. I'm not really sure.
Possibly.
But I think one of the biggest trades in terms of the impact it had on the Eskimos, not only that year but moving forward, came 30 years ago this week. In June of 1988, where the Eskimos traded quarterback Matt Dunnigan to the BC Lions, which originally was for a 3-for-1 deal, ended up being for a 6-for-1 deal. Wow. 6 players coming back to the Eskimos. So originally, Jim Sandusky came back to the Eskimos for the 88 season.
He did all right.
He did just fine.
Yeah.
And then the Eskimos would receive the Lions' first-round pick, which Edmonton then used to select Leroy Blue.
Oh.
He did okay for us.
It's okay.
As well, then on January 24th in 89, BC was allowed to protect 2 players plus Dunnigan, and the Esks could take any other player. Then the Lions would protect 2 more players, and then the Esks would select again, and on until 4 players were taken. Wow. All in all, we took Jeff Braswell, running back Reggie Taylor, defensive end Greg Stumon, and defensive back Andre Francis. So the trade definitely helped the Lions. They had been kind of suffering quite a bit. They had actually fired Don Matthews halfway through the 87 season. And after that trade, getting a solid number one quarterback, they made it to the 88 Grey Cup, where they ultimately lost by a point to Winnipeg. But it really helped Edmonton set up for years to come, as Sandusky and Blue were instrumental for the Esks for years, while the other four were some key cogs for the 89 and 90 seasons, as the Eskimos, of course, went 16-2 in the 89 seasons, while the Lions dropped to 7-11 that year.
That was the year they didn't play the Grey Cup.
That's right. In 89, we just figured, you know what, 16-2, let's just...
That's good.
That's good enough.
Season is over.
It's
that's
done.
Right. Yeah,
that's all. That's how I remember it.
Yep.
Just as a postscript to that as well, a couple of weeks after the initial trade in 88, on June 23rd, the Grey Cup winning Eskimos faced the CFL All-Stars in the final ever CFL All-Star game. Matt Dunnigan played at quarterback for the All-Stars versus his former team, and they were coached by Edmonton's former head man and star player, Jackie Parker, en route to a 15-4 win over the defending Grey Cup champions. So that was played at Commonwealth just under 30 years ago now.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, so that was kind of neat. I mean, a trade like that just doesn't happen anymore.
No.
Especially now when you're seeing, I mean, Ricky Ray traded for not much, and even Drew Willie. That was considered a big trade.
That was, for... I would say
worked
it was
out for the Bombers.
I'd say it worked out all right.
Yeah, so
they did okay. Maybe Montreal has to pull one of those trades now.
Please.
Yeah, here we'll trade for some marquee quarterback, and you can just pick people off our roster. That's easy.
Just
sounds
somebody.
perfect.
Kavis, hope you're listening.
Going for a touchdown. Going for a touchdown. Going for a touchdown. We love those Eskimos.
Let's get into Fan Day, shall we? I want to get a little more detail from all of you. Ed, let's start with you. Being that you're going there, you're as a fan, of course, this year. We're kind of doing both sides this year. What really stood out for you at Fan Day today or yesterday, and kind of what did you like the best?
First of all, I love the fact they went back to Commonwealth. That's where it belongs.
Yeah.
Just give fans a chance to see what it's like right at field level.
Yes.
It's great atmosphere. It should never leave.
Okay. Now it's funny. I had a couple other people say that they preferred it at Clark Park.
Really?
And
more intimate, I think, closer.
A little closer. Yeah, exactly. I can see it, but I agree with you. I love the fact that it gives the fans that chance to be on the field where they play, and of course, it's much more spread out as far as doing the autograph sessions and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, you more space to stand, right, instead of being all crushed into a small area. Yeah.
And I absolutely love seeing the enthusiasm, the smiles from all the players. I mean, I mentioned this in the Periscope that, I mean, for a lot of these players, this is their first time, might be their last time,
Might be.
And I just love seeing. You can see the pure joy of them just enjoying the moment. That these people want my autograph. They may not necessarily know who I am, but they don't care. I'm just gonna sign this. And this kid's just giving me fist bumps, and you can just see it in their eyes that,
Yes.
they love it. It's
Yeah.
a fun day for them.
Absolutely.
And I see that in the veterans too, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just a chance to meet fans up close.
Yeah, well, and the fans that don't really want anything from them except an autograph and a hey, how's it going? Like that's really what it's set up that way, right?
Yeah,
and getting to get to see them play a little bit. I do say one of the things that I kind of miss is they used to have an actual scrimmage on Fan Day where they would actually play against one another and get the points, right? Well, and going way back, Superfan, you know all about the green and gold game.
Yeah, I mean, they actually started it in the first season before, like 3 months before the team played a single game. They had at that year in 49, it was the gold and white game.
Oh, okay.
It was an exciting game. They won, the one team won 4-0.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So, we had some rouges,
Oh.
which is very exciting.
Moretti's excited.
Yeah, exactly. And safety. So,
perfect.
What more do you need? They actually dropped it for the 50 season, but then came back 51 to 66 and brought it back for the early 80s, 83 to 86 as well. So,
right. And I know even just at Clark Park, even 8-9 years ago, they had more of a scrimmage type play instead of just a practice.
Yeah.
And so I do miss that part. Not saying that the practice is bad. It's just you like to have that little bit of scrimmage and you get the fans go, ooh, ah.
And you can cheer on for your side too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I do miss that. But other than that, I do like that.
They had it not too long ago at Clark.
Yes.
Because I think it was still when Freddie was here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was the first fan day I went to and they had a scrimmage.
Right.
So I don't. Is it just because they don't have padded practices anymore? Or is it because
that's part of it?
That might be part of it for sure. Yeah,
Too
and they
tired.
don't want guys get injured while they're just doing scrimmage instead of actually waiting for a game.
You could get injured walking to your car.
That's very true. It's very true.
At the same time,
less collisions though walking your car hopefully than in a game.
I hope so. God, I would never make it to my car.
No.
Yeah, that'd be horrible.
But the other thing I like about this format, though, with just all them breaking up into their individual groups, I mean, you get to see up close the types of drills that they do, and especially for the bigger guys like the linebackers, is how nimble those guys really are.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get a sense of that up in row 50 when you're down there and you see them doing their drills. I mean, for a big 250-pound guy.
Yeah, they move around pretty quick.
They're quick.
Yeah.
And you hear just how hard those hits can be.
Yeah.
That too.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
That too.
Yeah. Well, and I find too, even just with the receivers, I mean, I've watched that drill that they do where they throw the bomb down each side.
Yeah.
When you're watching it from the stands, it's like, oh yeah, okay, that's it. He runs down, catches it. When you're on field level and you see how fast they're running and how fast that ball gets there sometimes, that's a real eye-opener. It's like, whoa, this is like, I wouldn't have caught that. I would have caught that one with my face.
Yeah.
That's let's be honest. Yeah. But it was cool to see that. And speaking of passing, co-host Kenny Stafford passing out to the fans, just keeping through with what he does. I always give him kudos for that.
There's a few guys that were doing that actually.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that they do that.
Yeah.
And especially for those kids, and maybe not so little kids as I was a number of years ago, when they throw you the ball and then you get to throw, it's like, this is really cool. Yeah. Like
that doesn't happen in any other sport.
I did not want them to do that with me this year.
No.
But, lots of other years I would have been, pass it to me.
Yeah. You don't get to, do a little saucer pass to McDavid anytime soon.
No, that's just not going to happen.
So the CFL, I think it's just really special that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, one of the biggest things, Mike, we found out at Fan Day, how to say Jordan I'm going to blow it anyway.
Remember, he said...
Beaulieu.
Yeah, Beaulieu.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so there we go.
It is pronounced, Jordan.
Jordan. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate you clearing that up for me. Yes, so it's Beaulieu.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Well done.
Oh, look at that. Hey, that's so exciting.
We're going to have Jean-Simon Waugh come over and correct your pronunciation.
Oh, I love it.
He's a big boy, so yeah.
Oh, he sure is. Yeah, I think funniest thing I heard from him is somebody said, hey, Jean-Simon, and he said, you know my name?
Yeah.
I'm like, that is fantastic. But speaking of Beaulieu, I tried to catch up with him after practice, so let's try and catch him and our first pick, Godfrey Onyeka. Joined now by Jordan Beaulieu. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you said it right.
Perfect. Yeah. The second pick of the Eskimos this year. How's it been being in camp?
Amazing. The guys are nice to me. It's like a family here. It's all tradition. They all live out of tradition, and like guys are taking care of me. I'm learning from the best, and I couldn't be happier.
Oh, that's awesome. Tell us about draft day for you, because I can't imagine what that's like. You're coming through. Obviously, you did the combine. I thought you showed really well at the combine, especially in the special teams part where you're bullying people around, which was fantastic. But what is your draft day like?
Well, I had friends and family over. I was watching on TV, and I saw Godfrey coming out before so I wasn't really thinking Edmonton was a possibility of coming out as the same position. But when I got the call, I couldn't be happier, and happy to be an Eskimo.
Awesome. Where did you think you might end up?
Honestly, wherever. I had all the teams calling me the night before, except Edmonton. So anything's possible. Anything's possible. Draft day. So.
Yeah, we like to be sneaky. That's the way we do that. Okay, we ask every new draft pick nickname. Got a nickname that kind of sticks with you?
Man, there's a lot. Bullier's a tough name to say, so I think the first one that comes to mind is Boo Boo, and then there's Baloo, Bo. Name it all except Bullier. So I'll take anything.
As soon as somebody says something in like 16, you're like, that's me. Okay, that's good. Okay, perfect. We're usually going to call you Bully, I think, because I liked when you talked about that at the combine, how you like to get out and just bully people around.
Yeah, that's I'm an underdog. I've said it a long time. I work hard, and on special teams, that's the mentality the coaches here like. They like bullies. They like guys with the attitude, and that's what I bring. I bring a physicality, and that's what I want to do. I want to bully the guy in front of me every play.
Awesome, and it looked like you got pretty close to a couple of punt blocks there today.
Yeah, with the schemes that Coach McDermott is putting in, there's always a way to make a play, and I do my job, and things come, and we get good results.
That's awesome. Okay, so quick speed round, just so that we kind of get to know you a bit better. Do you have favorite food?
I want to say steak.
Ooh, good pick.
Steak,
that's
sure.
Extra points for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite movie?
Friday Night Lights.
Ooh,
the movie,
that's all right.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Got to pick a football gun. Yeah, okay. Now, if you're not playing football, what do you like to do?
Play Fortnite.
Ooh, there you go.
That's a big one. I'm a gamer. That's a big one. That's a big one for me. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So now everybody's going to try and track you down to play online.
Let's do it. Let's get a squad going and let's play.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What's been the most kind of the best thing about coming to Edmonton?
The people, just the environment. Fan day was amazing. We had an exhibition game here against Saskatchewan, and all the people around, the program, just the coaches, everything. The guys I meet, the new guys that come from the States, big programs. Some of the guys playing in the NFL. So it's just getting to know all these people. It's just amazing, and I couldn't be happier to be here.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Now, we're also joined by the first pick by the Eskimos, Godfrey Onyeka. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well. Tell us about your draft day, because, here you were thinking you weren't sure where you were going to go, and then first into the second round, and you end up in Edmonton.
Yeah, so honestly, from everything I was told, I was kind of expecting somewhere in the mid first round kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And then when linemen started getting picked, I was like, oh, here we go.
But
when I got the call for Edmonton, I was really excited, to be honest. I had no clue they would pick me, to be honest, because they have quite a few Canadian DBs.
Yeah.
And that was one of the teams my agent was like, probably not one of the teams you're going to. But I thought I interviewed well with them, so I was like, maybe. I really like Coach Maas, so I was hoping it would be them, and it happened to be them.
Awesome. Tell us a bit about that interview process from your perspective, because that is it nerve-wracking, or what is it? How is that process like?
I think if you think too much about it, then it's nerve-wracking. They really just want to get to know you as a person. So it's just be yourself. They ask you questions about football as well as yourself, and just answer honestly, and it's not that bad.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. What was the hardest question you came up against?
Ooh, if I wasn't playing football, what else would I be doing? That was a hard one. And I said travel nurse, because at that point I just learned about travel nursing, and I thought it was cool, but now I want to be a massage therapist.
Ooh,
so
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. Now, interesting when you come, of course, to Edmonton, because, of course, Kwaku is here already, that you played with the year before.
Yeah.
Was it kind of nice to have that in before you got here?
Yeah, definitely. Made transition a lot easier. So I got to ask Kwaku about the defense, about the guys in general, just to get to know them a bit before I got here. Yep. Also, Jordan Hoover, who got drafted last year, I trained with. So
perfect.
So it's another DB who plays same positions than I do, so I got to ask him a lot of questions too. So it was good. It's convenient.
Awesome.
It made my transition a lot easier.
Oh, that's fantastic. So now, I noticed you're a Canadian guy playing a corner spot. It's not very regular that we see that, which is awesome, and that you're able to do that. What's the hardest thing about playing corner for you?
Honestly, I feel corner, it's more the space and getting used to how athletic. Because in the OUA, I was kind of used to just, it's going to sound bad, but I kind of went through the motions, and I was still one of the better ones there. But here you have to be on your P's and Q's, because everyone's just as athletic, just as fast, and cares just as much about football as you do. So you really have to be on your game every day.
That's awesome. So is that the biggest jump coming here, do you find?
I think that's the biggest. It's the intensity. Yeah. It's very different than OUA. You have to be on your game every day. If you have a bad rep, you got to let it go. That's what I'm still working on, just letting things go. And
Awesome. So what do you like to do when you're not playing football?
Honestly, I like hanging out. I like watching football, to be honest. I watch quite a bit of football.
Okay.
And I just hang out, get to know people.
Awesome. Have you found kind of a cool hangout spot in Edmonton yet, or has it just been all camp all time?
Camp's just been hotel rooms, man. That's all we've had. It's either you're here or you're at the hotel. That's all we've gotten so far.
That's what you've got so far. So he's getting really far. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So favorite food?
Whatever my mom makes.
Ooh, good pick. Calvin?
Pre-game?
Yeah.
Chicken and pasta.
Ooh, there you go. See, now we got this going on. What's your favorite movie?
It's a hard one.
Training Day.
No, it's actually not a football movie, to be honest. I'm a big rom-com guy, so it's one of those.
Ooh,
yeah.
Wow, I didn't expect that. Uh-oh, Calvin's backing away. All right, and other than, do you get a gamer or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, I play Madden quite a bit. Funny story, before I came here, I thought I was one of the best Madden players ever.
Yeah.
And I've been humbled twice since I got here. So I got to work on my Madden, but I'm pretty decent at Madden too.
Okay. Yeah, well, and our resident Odell, who was the Madden king, is now gone. So now you're moving up the ranks.
I think it might be Chris Edwards. He's wow. Oh my God. His mind just works differently in Madden. It's amazing.
All right. See, and so you're learning on every front.
Yeah, like literally learning, trying to grow on every front. Yeah.
That's awesome. So this year, likely, I'm looking probably more the special teams role. Do you kind of jump all over that? You got lots of speed, lots of size. Do you find that really helps with your special teams?
Yeah. Special teams is something I take pride in because that's where I started playing when I was in college. So obviously that's where I'm going to first make my A here. But obviously, of course, I want to start on defense. That's why I'm here. That's why I was drafted. So I'd like to do that. But special team is more just it's all want to, right?
Yeah.
And I want to be great on special teams. So I'm going to be great for this team on special teams this year.
Awesome. And for many years on other things. Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for doing this, man. Love to have you here and glad you're here.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks to those guys for hanging out with me and giving us a little bit of information on them, because it's always cool to catch up with the new guys and see who they are. All right, let's now move on to a little bit of CFL on TV last week. It was kind of cool for me. I always love it when, even though it's preseason, it's like, oh, there's a football game on again, and I can watch it. And on TSN, I can watch it on the app later, and this is so good. So, I mean, they had the Thursday game, Montreal and Ottawa, and that was kind of pretty much. Yeah. Not a whole lot.
Could have been 4-4, but whatever.
But on Friday, they put out the Toronto Argonauts versus the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard, but there was a quarterback in that game wearing number 2 that did
James Franklin.
So well.
Hey, it's Franklin. Coming over to play.
That's the one I was talking about. I know.
That's why you're so excited.
I'm not going all TSN. I'm not talking about that other guy every 10 seconds. Who? No. James Franklin in the game in the second half. Oh my goodness.
I could hear the squeals all the way in Devon.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It was fantastic. And I always love seeing him on the field, and
it was weird.
It was totally weird. It's absolutely the wrong colors.
Yes.
For now.
That's okay. Exactly. 2 years, Frank. That's what you need. Get there, get your stuff, get some learning.
Get the goods.
Then come home. That's fine. But interesting game. The reason I actually brought that up is I don't know if you guys saw. I posted the one highlight of Burks, I believe, was the running back that just basically ran side to side, jumped over
one
guy.
guy.
Then ran back and got the touchdown. Now that is a preseason play, but one that
welcome to the team, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you make a team.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah,
that it was so exciting to get, and it's only in the you're going to see something that's crazy like that, but that was just. It was so cool it's like, okay, I'm glad that was on TV to watch that. That was really cool.
Those are the runs that never work. That's so awesome.
Exactly. It's like, how did he do? All right. Well, he just pulled away.
Let's try that in a regular season game and see what happens.
Squish.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, that was it was nice to have it back, and we're of course excited for our games this week, and that means it is time for our CFL preseason pick'em. Isn't that fun? I tell you, just toss a coin and see what happens. So, our first game is Ottawa versus Toronto, and this is now in Toronto. So, I am going to start with you, Superfan. Who do you have in that game?
Exciting. I think that we're going to see a bit more Ricky Ray. This is in Toronto now. We're going to see more Franklin.
Woohoo!
Mine.
I don't know who Seymour Franklin is, but with Ottawa, I'm still not convinced that we're going to see any Harris at all. He's going to save himself for the regular season game. So I think this one's going to be
after the kind of quasi-injury. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So I think we're going to end up seeing a Toronto hometown win. Hopefully, lots of fans turn up for it. I mean, it's a preseason game, and it is Toronto.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see more fans get out there and see some exciting football.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And a win.
Exactly. Ed?
Well, I've read somewhere that Franklin is going to play at least 2 quarters.
Yay!
So my money's on the tank.
All right. Perfect. I love it. Kayla?
Oh, well, I assume this is going to be a 4-4, but for now it's a 3-3 Toronto.
Okay. All right. Of course I'm going Toronto.
Yeah.
I don't even have to. Yeah, there's
You're
not
picking
even...
Franklin and everything you can.
Absolutely. Yes. All right. Next game. This is the game where we want both teams to lose. Calgary versus Saskatchewan. So, Ed, you get to go first on this one. Who are you picking in that? And that is in Saskatchewan.
Oh, boy. Flip a coin on that one. I still think Chris Jones is just going to just play like a bazillion players, and no one's going to be able to get into a rhythm. He's gonna have the little Sith look again.
His little practice squad.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go Calgary.
All right.
He's going to be like bringing the towel down over his eyes after this one.
That's right.
I love it. Let the hate flow through you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Kayla.
I'm with you. Lose. -1. That's what I don't know how you can minus a point, but it's gonna happen. But I'm gonna go with Calgary.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right. I think Calgary rests more starters in this one, and I think they finally get their shiny new toy of Zach Collaros out on the field. Now, does that mean that he's actually going to do anything? I have no idea. But I'll give Saskatchewan the 3-1 win. Okay.
3-1 win.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
I hope it's on TV.
Who loses in this game? We all do. This game, I think that Calgary might be a little bit shocked from the loss they had to the Lions last week. They were certainly trotting out a few more of their players. I mean, there were certainly a lot of rookies and second and third stringers.
And they don't have that second quarterback, right? So they're really trying them out. Yeah.
But honestly, I think Calgary goes 0-2 in the preseason this year. And somewhere podcaster Ryan's head is going, whatever, doesn't matter.
It's just preseason. That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Even though he probably predicted to go 2-0. So,
yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I'm picking Riders.
All right. Yeah, that's horrible. All right. Next one, Winnipeg versus BC, and this one is in BC. Kayla, you are up first.
That's actually kind of a tough one.
Isn't
I feel
it?
like it's just D versus D. Let's be honest.
Nice.
But, I'm BC.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that. I'm going with BC. I think it's just a home game. I think they'll be playing a little more Jonathan Jennings and a little more of their offensive line starters, and I think that's Winnipeg already got to look at their starters. They don't need to be looking. They're going to be looking at their second and third guys. So I think BC pulls that one off.
I think this is going to be a close game.
I agree.
That BC is certainly a lot better than a lot of people gave them credit for, especially the prognosticators who were easily writing off BC season, saying they're going to be in 5th place. That's it. Not making the playoffs for another year. I think BC really surprised a lot of people last week. I'll say it again. Beating Calgary in Calgary, even though it is preseason, is something that you can rest your hat on. I think there's a lot of hungry players there playing at home in front of their fans. It's a BC win.
Their fan?
Yeah. They're fans.
Just Brian? Okay, yeah. Okay.
Mojo's in there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Fans. Okay, great. Okay. That was mean.
Yeah,
but it was
mean.
I just couldn't help
Nelson,
myself.
3.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. All right, perfect. All right, Ed?
Same reasons that you stated. I think Winnipeg's going to be resting pretty well everyone.
Okay.
They've seen what they need to see. BC will be at home. They'll want to put on a show for their fans, even though it's preseason, but still. So I'm going to take the Lions.
All right. You think Big Hill plays in that game?
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine? That's
Or does he wait until it's the
till
actual?
it's the actual one. Yeah, I know. It's going
Hard
to
to
be
say.
interesting. Yeah,
There's going to be a lot of people with mixed emotions there. In
absolutely.
Vancouver.
Absolutely. All right, last one. Hamilton versus Montreal in Montreal. I picked Montreal last week because it was the only time I was going to pick them all season. So this one is Hamilton. Superfan.
This one we'll be able to watch because it's going to be on TV.
It is now.
Shocker.
Yeah. I wonder why.
I don't know. I think this everybody
Davis
really
Reed
wants
is
to.
amazing. That's why.
I thought it was just that whole
They
Masoli
should be
factor.
playing Ottawa versus Toronto because we all want to watch Franklin.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the only number 2
Yeah.
quarterback worth watching. Go ahead.
There you go.
No one's salty.
No, no. I think that it's still up in the air. I don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be for Montreal.
It's Drew Willie.
Yeah, I know right now, but I mean,
Willie outside. Willie puts it in there. Come on.
Stop.
The 14-year-old is excited.
there are going to be a lot of people abusing that Willie there. So
That's right.
I just am not sold. I have never been really sold on Drew Willie.
Nice. Put the first name in there. That's
Hell
good.
yes. This has just gone off the rails so quickly.
I know.
And Hamilton, I think, has got a lot to play for. June Jones, he's gonna make these guys get up there and say, "Hey, we got to take this." So
They got to learn to hang on to the ball.
they sure
That
do.
would be a big...
well, not for the home opener. But,
I know, but that's... I mean, oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fine for... Yeah, but if... I mean, that game against Toronto...
10 turnovers.
10 turnovers. Man, that's...
It's like the ball was a leopard. They're like, ah!
hold on loosely.
That's yeah, exactly. That's rough. So yeah, if they could, because their defense actually looked okay, I thought.
Yeah.
But they kept giving away field position. So anyway, Ed, Montreal and Hamilton.
Sorry, Cavis, but your only hope is the Penguin curse of me picking Hamilton, and the opposite happens. Because, man, oh man.
Penguin curse. I love it.
Sounds so
You
threatening.
didn't hug anyone yesterday, did you?
I did not hug anyone.
Thank
Okay,
goodness.
good. Okay.
But I did get my picture taken with Kevin Glenn. So,
So which curse is
Klein,
gonna
so
happen?
Klein
I
and
know.
O'Brien might want to sharpen their skills for the first couple of week 1 and 2,
Just to make sure.
just to make sure.
No, according
You
to
gave him
Kayla, that's right. According to Kayla, Glenn's getting his ring this year. So yeah.
You gave him a blessing, not a curse.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Well, we'll see how resilient the man is.
That's right.
Penguins are amazing. You got it, Ed. Don't worry.
Okay.
Nice job. All right, Kayla, Hamilton,
Oh,
Montreal.
wait, did you pick?
We're going
Hamilton? Okay.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys know me. I'm an emotional cutter when it comes to Montreal.
An emotional cutter.
Well,
It's like back in high school.
wow.
Because I have no stakes again, and I can't seem to not be able to actually want Montreal to somewhat succeed because I can't fathom what Anthony Calvillo left behind, that poor sucker.
Now he's with Franklin.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Smart man.
I'll go with Montreal. I don't know why, guy. I'm just going to say Montreal.
All right, so Kayla picks Willie. Great.
Glutton for punishment.
I couldn't refuse putting that in there.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Well, all right
Oh,
then.
dang it.
That's good. Well, you know what, the guys, this is always so much fun. Ed, thank you for coming down and being part of the show. I loved having you here and glad we got to chat about Fan Day and the game and all those other things. Tell everyone where they can find you on the interwebs and all those fun things.
On interwebs is at Patrick B. Penguin.
Perfect.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you told him.
I know.
It's
a few
good.
times. It makes it more fun. Webmistress Kayla, where does everybody find you?
On Twitter at Dutch Lombardi, and our Instagram account is Eskimo Empire Podcast.
Wonderful, with a whole bunch of new pictures coming very soon.
Yes.
Ooh, so exciting. Super fan.
You can find me on the Twitter box at 56 Parkies and then the history at Asks History.
Perfect. And you can find me at
It's
It's
good gin.
Have another drink.
You can find me at Freepalicious and, of course, the show at Esk Empire Pod. Thank you once again to our sponsor, United Construction Company. You down with UCC?
Yeah, you know me.
Obviously. Check out their website at unitedconstruction.ca and make sure you find us on all of our social channels, which you can find on the links on eskempire.ca. We'll be back next week with a final training camp cuts and, of course, who makes this 2018 roster. Plus, we'll have our favorite stat guy guy, Uncle BD. He's back here to set up some fun stats for the upcoming season. So, are we ready for this season to get started?
Absolutely.
For Ed, Webmaster Kayla, and Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.